working now. Yeah.
Yeah, everything's working now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Working.
It's working out. Yeah.
So what happened to you last week, you little fucking flake?
I am so sorry. I did the old put the kids to bed, fall asleep, antic. Phone downstairs. All right, put the kid to bed. You know when you just, I don't know if you do it, but I sit with my son before he drifts off. And sometimes when you walk away, he wakes up and goes, "No!"
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so you end up staying there for like a bit too long, and then eventually you just doze off and you're fucked. I mean, that was me.
My kids genuinely don't like it when I put them to bed. They
You should for your missus.
they prefer mum to take them to bed, so I don't do any of that.
See, Ollie doesn't like me, but Cobain likes me.
It's because I play with them. I'll get into bed, and there's something, because my daughter is so tiny, there's something about grabbing her and just fucking squidging the fuck out of her. And she wriggles like fuck, and it makes me laugh, and she's giggling. And then, so we're in there for like too long because I'm just too busy squidging. I can't just cuddle my daughter. I've got to squeeze the fuck out until her head pops. Like, she goes bright red, and I go squeeze the fuck out of her. So putting her to bed.
Dad.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't have a daughter yet, so.
Oh yeah, no, there's something about my girl. My son is an absolute pussy. I love him, but as soon as I go to squidge him, he's like, whereas my daughter's like, oh my god, daddy, it's the best thing ever. So yeah, as I putting the kids to bed, yeah, it's definitely a mum job. In fact, my son now puts himself to bed. I go to bed, and he goes, okay, off he goes. That's his cottons. So yeah, you flake.
I embrace that because one day they will be going to bed on their own. They will be, you know, there will be the days that you actually miss.
Yeah, it does make me a little bit sad that she doesn't, like, the kids don't want me to put them to bed. Although the other day I got into bed with Izzy, and it was just the middle of the day. She just wanted to chill out in her bed. I got into bed with her, put my arms around her, and then I woke up a few hours later. She'd gone. She disappeared, but I was laid in her bed.
You in bed with mummy.
She just disappeared.
That's the same with us. It's like Cobain and Ollie, they sleep with us pretty much most nights anyway.
Yeah.
So like it'll be some nights, if it starts off really well, it'll be just me. It'll just be, well, for me, it's never, if I go to bed early, which I have been doing recently, it's been me and just Keita, which has been nice. But then for the night, both of them come in, and then the whole bed's full. We wake up with a whole bed full of us in there. But I don't mind that because in the night I'm like cuddling Cobain and or Ollie, whoever's next to me.
It's nice when you get.
Yeah, there's going to be the days where it won't happen because they're going to reach a certain age where they stay in their bed and they don't want to even know you. And those are the days that you're going to miss because they're not going to be so little anymore. So I kind of embrace it. As much as it sounds shit, like it's, oh, my kids sleep with me most nights and stuff like that. I'm taking that in and enjoying it and making the most of it, you know?
I do like it because obviously we've got the 2 houses, so I don't sleep over there all the time. But when I do, and in the morning the kids come running in and they jump on me like, "Daddy's here!" I'm like, "Yeah, boy."
Teabag you. Yeah, boy.
Teabag you. It is nice though when you get to spend time.
My face like a fucking dog who's going. He's like, "Daddy, you okay?"
My kids don't do that.
The fuck off me.
My kids don't do that. It is nice when you get to spend time with your kids, with your missus, away from the kids. That's always nice. We swear in front of our kids, yeah.
Yeah.
I teach my kids how to swear.
So I think it's like, as long as they're not like saying it all the time and they're...
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If they sit... It was like, for example, last week, Cobain, I took him... Cobain's got a fucking birthday party for every weekend for the rest of this month. Last weekend we went to soft play.
So
today
expensive.
We went today to the same fucking soft play. Anyway, last week he goes... what did he say? Basically, I took Ollie and Cobain because Keith was at work, and I couldn't find Ollie anywhere. And Cobain goes, "He was sat in the fucking cafe." I went, "What did you just say?" And he went, "Nothing." I went, "You don't say that word." And he went, "Sorry."
It's a hard one.
Like, it's not like he says it all the time, but when it does say it, you got to like sort of tell him off. But at least he's aware of it, you know.
I teach my kids that there's context. So if they fall over and they like stub their toe and they go, "Ah, fuck," I don't care because I do the same. Like I can't tell them to not do it because I do the same fucking thing. If they're getting pissed off at like Roblox or something like that and they're like, "Ah, fuck," I don't really say anything. I go, come on, bro, let's not be like that. That's as far as I'll go. I don't tell him off of. If my son's sitting there going, fucking motherfucker, fucker, then obviously I'm going to say something. But it's all to do with the correct context. That is my biggest thing.
100%.
Yeah, mate. Do you have to organise like spending time alone with your missus? Do you have to like book it in with her?
Yeah, it's one of those where if we're gonna spend some time, we're gonna be spending it away, like different city.
Oh,
Different
like
city, boy.
properly, like yeah.
Yeah.
See, the problem
Like
we
that sort of
have,
stuff.
like, we try and book time together, but then one of the kids will need something. They'll either need a lift, so like the older ones will be like, I need a lift to a mate's house, or they're already at a friend's house and they'll be like, oh, shit's hit the fan. Their parents don't want us here now. You need to come pick us up because there's no buses at this time. You know, there's always something. And yesterday, then this couldn't be helped. This is just one of those things. Like yesterday, I was looking forward to getting on, playing some video games, like spending some time with Lucy, then come in and playing some video games last night. And one of our friends needed us because she doesn't drive, and one of her kids had fallen over and hit their head on a coffee table, and they've split their lip. So they needed to take him to the hospital. So we took him to the hospital, no problem. But then that completely throws all of our plans out the window. So that happened at like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I am the faster, and it sounds awful, but I am the better driver. So I said, I'll drive him to the hospital, no problem. Got him to the hospital. Lucy put the kids to sleep. And then Lucy said, do you want me to come to the hospital? Because she knows I fucking hate being in the children's ward. So I was like, yeah, I'll drive back and then you can come back up if you really need to. But obviously, she's an adult with her kid. You don't need to babysit her. But if you feel the need, you want to come up and sit here, then you go nuts. So I came home and then Lucy did. She drove up and she sat with our friend. Then Lucy didn't get back until gone midnight. Well, I'm fucking knackered at that point. And I'm just like, well, there goes our evening plans. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know it was an emergency getting her to the hospital, but once you got them to the hospital, your job's done. Like you don't.
Yeah.
I don't know why you want to sit at the hospital for 6 hours. So the whole evening was gone, and literally just just before I hit record, I said I'll send in a text. Lucy just texted me, goes, "Oh, our friend needs to go to the hospital at 8 o'clock in the morning." So I said I'll take him. I'm like, well, we have plans for tomorrow morning. I'm fuming. It's Mother's Day.
Mother's Day tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm fuming.
Oh, by the way, guys, it's the 18th of March today. I switched back for a couple of weeks, but it's fine.
I know. We have like we had theories about like the Fury fight and everything. Anyway, yeah. So tomorrow's Mother's Day. My plans for Mother's Day have just gone out the window because she's now going to take her friend up to the hospital, and it's just like I wish you'd discussed it with me first. I wish you'd said to me, "Is it all right if we organise this?" Because I would have been, "What's wrong with a taxi?"
Yeah.
Like, I'm paying for this car, I'm paying for the fuel and everything, but now all of a sudden someone else is using our car for the day and or for the morning, and my Mother's Day idea has just gone out the window. But it's all good. It's just an emergency. I get if you've got a family emergency and you've got to quickly do something as an emergency, shit, they need us, drive them to the hospital. But then planning the next few days where we'd like taxiing to and from the hospital, it's just like there are actually companies that do this. Why are we?
No, I get what you're saying, mate.
Like our spare time.
I was like, I wanted to do something with Keita tomorrow, but she's fucking working, but she never tells me. So I was like, I booked her. I'm gonna go for a nice roast with her, blah blah blah. Then go and see my mum, but she only tells me yesterday that she's working on Sunday, and I'm like, okay. So I had to cancel the booking, and I've actually given her the Mother's Day present and card today because obviously she'd be up early in the morning and stuff like that. She wouldn't have quality time, so we gave it a day. Well, today, basically this evening before they went to bed. Yeah, it's one of those. But tomorrow, I'm going bowling tomorrow. I'm going to take the kids bowling.
Oh,
Like that.
Put the bumpers up and use the little ramps.
Yeah, that's right. They've never been. I took them there today because it was like a spontaneous point. I was like, should we take them bowling? Yeah, but it was rammed and they didn't have any lanes, so you had to book. And I was like, this is like never busy, and it was fucking the busiest day ever today. So it was like,
So
it is what it is.
We started taking the Sprogs swimming on the regular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like lessons or like just leisure?
Just taking them ourselves. I don't know. Like everyone's different, but I don't believe in giving kids floats because then they learn to depend on something else. It's like a stepping stone into swimming. Fuck it. Throw them in water. They'll learn very quickly that they sink if they don't concentrate. Like simple. But our local swimming pool, check this out for posh. our local swimming pool will have designated times for kids and designated times for adults and designated times for people that want to do lengths and so on and so forth. And I just thought, well, that's like normal every swimming pool. The reason this swimming pool does it is the floor is on hydraulics. So if there's kids in there, the floor of the pool will raise so the pool is just under a meter deep. And then when it's for
Wow.
adults, it will go down so it's like 4 meters deep. How fucking cool is that?
Mate, I was literally about to say, mate, that's like every single pool. Like,
Exactly,
they got
but-
designated time. And when you put that spin off of the height, that's fucking.
Yeah, hydraulic floor to go up and down so the kids are safe. That's cool as fuck. But anyway, we've been going to that pool, and the kids absolutely love it. So yeah, my son's getting a lot more confident. My daughter is just a knobhead, like
Mm.
literally. Like she's like putting a cat in a swimming pool.
Is
She's
it
like,
just you, Loose, and
me, Lucy, and the babies, the 2 younger ones. Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah.
It is good fun. Getting them ready for when we go on holiday because they got 3 swimming pools where we go. They got 1 outdoor
going-
and then 2 indoor.
when you going on holes?
January, February, March, April, May the 25th, something like that.
Oh, you're going to that caravan place again, yeah?
Yeah, every year.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Every year you're shuffling, baby.
It is, but it's getting way too expensive. It's
See
getting.
what it's like next year. Might go next year. I was obviously gonna come over, but obviously I got a wedding to pay for, which is
You can't next
biting
year.
me.
It's already booked up.
Oh no way!
Yeah. I mean, when I'm telling you that this place is really good, like it's genuinely very, very good. It's very chilled out. I would be if you try and find. I don't think you would be able to get. Well, try see if you can get the same cabin as us. But this like when I told you about it before, it was £1,200, I think, for the cabin. It's now £1,900 for the same cabin.
Yeah, that's
It's
nuts.
fucking mental how expensive it is.
We've been to one before down. It was basically like a Butlins in a sense. They got some of them have got jacuzzi, some of them haven't. They're just like like little motorhomes.
Yeah.
Some had jacuzzi, some never. We stayed in like how many bed was it? It slept 6,
Yeah.
7.
Yeah, our sleep 6.
Three rooms with like two rooms had 2 single beds and 1 had a double, just stuff like that.
Yeah. So this has got a double, and then
Kitchen, room.
this has got 1 double bed, and then it's got 2 rooms with 2 single beds in. Every room's got a TV in it. It's got central heating. It's got its own Wi-Fi, which I know doesn't sound amazing, but on these caravan parks, normally they'll put a big fucking mast up and go, everyone's connected to that, and everyone's internet shit. Whereas these wooden cabins, they've got their own router in there, and you can like wire into them if you want to. It's got the full Sky package. You've got your own private jacuzzi, open plan kitchen. It's like it's genuinely absolutely wicked. So it's well worth its money.
Decking as well.
Yeah, its own little deck in, and it's got like French doors on the back, and then like a side door, and the kids just run round and round and round all day long, and it's absolutely wicked. It really, really is. Yeah, I love it. If you came along one year, it would actually be really, really good fun because the kids could like fuck off and play. Keita and Lucy could go and do whatever women do, and then we could go to the bar. It'd be wicked, but
yeah. But one we went to had a gym there as well.
Yeah,
and you get like a free. You can go to the gym there if you want.
Same here.
Oh,
gym, sauna, steam room, everything.
Evening entertainment.
Yeah, even this has entertainment throughout the whole day. So you've got you've got evening entertainment, and then throughout the day they'll have like a reptile few hours. So there'll be like 3 hours. You go to the main hall, and they've got snakes and like baby crocodiles and tortoises and all that, and the kids can go and play with them. You pay like £5 each to get in.
Where's that again? Is it Bournemouth? Do you say?
It's Bournemouth, yeah. And then we go to the aquarium on the seafront. We go to the arcades. They've got Peppa Pig Land, which is about 45 minutes away. Kids don't give a fuck about Peppa Pig anymore, but it's a little theme park. So they've got roller coasters and things there, which are age appropriate, let's say. So there's lots of really cool things there. We really like I said, we go all the time. We really enjoy it.
Good man.
But we on the last one we said about just changing completely. We spoke about the Tommy Fury and Jake Paul fight. Now I know we're several weeks behind. That's mainly because of you and being a flake. Was you surprised? Was you surprised by the outcome of the fight, or surprised by the fight in any way, shape, or form? Because I was.
It was like I knew Tommy was going to win.
Yeah.
The only way he was going to lose is if Jake got one of his lucky smackaroonies on him. But even then, I don't think I think if Tyson Fury's got a heart, and it kind of, I believe that's quite, what's it called?
You mean Tommy Fury?
Yeah, Tyson Fury. You know when he got knocked out and he got back up? I
Oh
think
yeah,
that's more of a is it hereditary? Is that the right
Hereditary.
word?
Hereditary. You're looking at.
Yeah. So I think that runs through his like family and what gypsies are like anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So if he did catch him, I think he would have got back up anyway. But I think Jake did okay.
Jake done a damn sight better than I was expecting, but Tommy done a damn sight shitter than I was expecting. I expected him to go in.
Had a good fight.
Not at all. I expected him to go in there and fuck Jake up. But he won, in my opinion, he won most of the rounds. But he wasn't as fucking good as I was expecting him to be. For someone that's been fighting all his life, he wasn't that good.
He's 100% better from personal experience. I was just trying to put myself in his shoes. He had the crazy amount of pressure on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Fight.
Yeah, he had it all to lose.
And to fight like that, he's never experienced the crowd, everything, the money, the stake, his name. Do you know what I mean? Like that. Yes, he didn't perform well, and I still think he absolutely annihilated him on points. Now, when they said it was split, I thought, nah.
And he just had a daughter, so he had that in his head as well.
Yeah, exactly. So like, for all that pressure, it would affect his performance. If they fought again, if they say it was a number 2, I think Tommy would probably just knock him out because he knows he's got him. And like, you could just tell from round 1. And then Jake comes out with all this fucking shitty excuses. I don't know if you've heard any of them. Have you heard
yeah, like he was wounded and he wasn't really in it. And fuck off, you silly bastard.
The worst one I've heard?
What?
He had a wet dream.
Fuck off, he never said that.
No, I swear down. There's one there where he said he had a wet dream before, because obviously fighters, when fighters have a fight, they try not to have a wank or blow their load, so their testosterone levels are up and they're more a bit more grit and determination. But
shit, I just googled it. You're right. Jake Paul lost from a wet dream.
Hang on, let me blamed it on one of his wet dream because then he lost all his testosterone and
Jake
shit.
Had a wet dream the night before his fight. I sparked up and I said, no fucking way. I had a wet dream the day of the KSI fight.
Why are you guys talking to your moms about that?
Very open fan.
Yeah. What was your dream about?
I don't actually even remember.
Just like 100% his dream was him standing above Tommy, knocking him out.
But yeah, like, how can you blame it on a wet dream? Like, fuck me, like I get it. Like, you've blown your load in a sense, but it still wouldn't affect like your talent and. But
well, Mike Tyson said he used to have a wank before a fight. He said he used to get rid of that shit. So I think it depends on fighter. Yeah, Mike Tyson, I think he's publicly said
it's
that
a lame excuse. End of the day.
Yeah.
100%. One of the excuses. Other excuses say you weren't fit, the camp wasn't very good and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking, well, before the fight, you were saying you were fucking on all cylinders, ready to go. So don't fucking chat shit.
And not only that, he's got the money to have a good camp.
Yeah, but for someone like Jake with all that money and all that time boxing, he's shit. He's genuinely shit. Like, he's been boxing what, 2-3 years now, maybe more.
Yeah.
He's fucking dog shit, mate. Like, genuinely, if I did the same training as him, I'd have Jake any day.
The thing is,
I think I've probably got a chance again. Like, he wasn't that. They was just two very bad professionals. Well, Jake's a good amateur, and Tommy's a bad pro.
The problem is Jake isn't just boxing. He's still YouTube. He's still running multiple businesses. Shit, yeah. He's doing an awful lot. He's spinning a lot of plates. If he had put all of his effort into boxing, I think he'd be a hell of a lot better than what he is now. But that said, he kicked my ass. That's a guarantee. I think from watching him, now I'm no boxing pro, his movement is just too predictable. Like he's got that overhand right, which is his only weapon.
Very easy, yeah, his only weapon, yeah.
So easy.
Can be very dangerous in amateur boxing.
100%, 100%.
I've been caught so many times by those overheads because you think they're ducking, but then there's a fucking fist following up. But like, you think they're just trying to dodge, but then you've got a punch in the face.
But his legs are so stiff. His legs are so fucking like that boy's not moving around, and you just like. Okay, but the fact that Tommy didn't capitalize on that and just be like, I think there was like 2 or 3 times where Tommy gave him an absolute flurry of like fucking him up. But then what was weird about it is he paused. So he had Jake fucked up and then he stopped swinging. You're like, mate, this is when you carry on. So that was
But
making
this
me
is what
think
I
they were
mean.
trying to make it
I
like
kind of think
a
that, yeah,
spectacle.
I kind of thought there might have been a sort of aspect in there to make the fight good because of the money they're making and stuff like that. And the way it went split decision, I thought like if I said if it goes to a draw, it's 100% fixed. And I think Jake definitely had a referee on his side in that thing.
Yeah, well, it was the
Because
American
point, you see
referee.
the point. Did you see the point difference? So the other two was like 3 points over Jake, which is probably about right, which I thought. And I thought that's why I thought it was unanimous because I thought, well, Tommy's fucking smashed him. Like, there's no chance. Well, they both had points deducted and stuff like that. But that's what I mean. That's the only reason why.
Well, it was an
Jake
American
won that
ref,
round.
wasn't it?
And Jake was up like 4 points compared to Tommy. And I was like, mate, that is fucking sly.
He did have the knockdown, but other than that,
and the point taken off Tommy as well for hitting behind the head or
they
something.
they
like
both
that.
had a point deducted, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like those two. I think Jake probably had like maybe 3 rounds, which is about right. But when Jake had like 4 or 5 points over Tommy, I was like, what fight have you been watching, bud? Like, you know.
What else?
And funny enough, he was the American, like you said.
What else have we got going on? Is fucking Top G still in prison?
Yeah, Top G's still in prison, man. And I'm super like against it now. Like, it's against his human right at the end of the day.
Did you see
And
the
if they can do it
documentary
to
about
him-
him?
I have actually watched that. It's interesting.
Makes him look like a shit cunt, doesn't it? They ruined him.
Well, it's the BBC at the end of the day. So this is what I mean. I saw it said, "Oh, the dark side of Andrew Tate," and I thought I'm gonna watch this as someone who doesn't know who Andrew Tate is, right? Yeah, and it makes him. So this is what I mean, because you know other bits about him, we can be a bit more biased towards him, innit? But I watched it as someone who's never who the fuck's is Andrew Tate, and they are so totally trying to fire pins against him and throw him under the bus, make him look bad, make it look a lot worse than it actually is. Like, I agree, a bit of the cultish sort of thing that you find, you know, what they call it, is it the game house and stuff like that?
Yeah.
But that's who you want to. I was imagining me being there, and I was going, oh yeah, I want to earn some money. I want to better my life. I'm gonna go to this meeting. I've got the money. You know, I'm got a bit of money. Just say I've paid $5,000 to go. And if I rocked up there and they said, right, yeah, you got to fight a trained fighter, I'd be like, let's fucking go.
Yeah, it wouldn't bother
Let's
me.
fucking go.
But
and I love the fact he said, "Oh, you guys are complaining about fighting. Well, have none of you trained in your life? Surely, like, if you haven't, it's not my fault you haven't trained in your life. That's your fucking problem." And I was like, he's got a fucking point.
He did look like a dick in that thing. He made me dislike him. That documentary made me dislike him.
No,
I was watching it like he's actually a bit of a prick. Like, there's one moment when the bloke doing the interview, he walked up to a woman and was like, "What are you doing here then?" And she was like, "I'm working." He's like, "Working on what?" And Andrew Tate pulls him away. And then there's like, he doesn't want him to talk to her. And she got arrested as well for trafficking women. And so, and when he picks up the sword, he's like, "Why have you got a sword?" He goes, "Oh, a man needs a sword to keep his woman in check." Shit like that is like, bro, shut the fuck up, man. That's shit like that. There's no need for it.
It's a character. You can
I know.
if you look at him, he is a fucking character. He's putting that on.
Do you think
He's
that?
putting that 100%. Watch it again. You see how he breaks character. You see his true self, but then he puts this. He is a bit of an actor. He's a bit like a Dr. Disrespect. He has to have that a little bit extra.
I don't know.
And you can tell.
I don't know. Some of the things. So I would say I 50% like what Andrew Tate represents, and 50% I don't. After watching I was just like, nah. He'd done that podcast, and he was like, when he was recording it, and then he like came out of character for a bit when they were like in an ad break, and then he came back into his character, where he was like super aggressive for no reason. And you just think, bro, you just be yourself.
This is what I mean about that character with that sword and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, the video was there and stuff, so he wanted like another clip.
I guess
him being
so.
like aggressive and stuff. That's what I mean. Is what when I'm looking into stuff like that, he's far from being stupid or thick. Like, he knows what he's doing.
Lucy watched it and she was like, "He's definitely a knobhead," and I was like, "I can see why you'd think that. I can see it.
I do
like,
as well. Yeah. No, I do too. But the BBC are corrupt anyway. The whole mainstream media and all that shit. Well, you know my view on that and COVID and all that shit.
Yeah, you're a proper.
Oh, mate,
You're so
don't
far
like,
down the rabbit hole. It's unreal.
Yeah, I just like, I just see things a little bit. I take a few steps back further than everyone else, and I don't follow the crowd as much at all. But this ice bath thing I know it was only a matter of time we're going to talk about it, mate. But it's changed my mindset completely.
It's mad how it does that, isn't it?
I hope, hopefully in a positive way. It's made me more disciplined. It's made me more appreciative of life. It's made me want to spend time with family, kids. Down because you're not guaranteed tomorrow. It just makes you more aware of your surroundings. I'm gonna say.
Has Keat
Like,
noticed the
things that you
difference in
notice.
you?
I
That
think
she
so. I'm
said-
gonna have to ask her. She doesn't like it in a sense of I don't know. The only thing I do need to change is rather than getting up when the kids get up and then jumping in, I need to get up before the kids get up,
Yeah,
jump in, then sort the kids out.
That makes
Because
sense.
the kids get up as I get up because I like my alarm, which could be varying between 5:30 to fucking 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
But I need to just stick to. I might just have to go right 6 a.m. on the button. If they're up or not, I'm gonna just go in there, and then once I've got up and done because I do like a little workout after to warm up the core. Then go and sort the kids out because she gets a bit frustrated that I'm in a fucking ice tub for 8 to 10 minutes and she's trying to sort the kids out, which is fair enough.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But that's what I mean. Like, but as of before, my mindset then would be like, no, I'm doing something for me there, love. Don't fucking interrupt it. I'm not thinking about anyone else. So like, yeah, like I understand my mistakes a lot more. Yeah, the thought process is just so much better.
Yeah,
I think
a lot calmer. There's an awful lot going on in
Mm.
like our family at the minute. Like so much shit. And if it wasn't for the ice bath, like I'd have lost. I mean, I am losing my head slowly. I can feel it. I'm going fucking mental. But the ice bath is definitely slowing that fucking process down.
You doing it every
massively.
day as well?
Yeah, I haven't done. I done it today. I done it yesterday, but I hadn't done it like the day before. Like I did skip a
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
And it just
I
made me
think if
feel
yeah,
shitty for
but
not doing it. I think
you
it's
do it in the
important.
evening instead.
No, I can't do it in the evening. Obviously, I don't go to sleep. I have to do it the second I wake up. Obviously, I'm too cold.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to miss a day every now and again because it makes you realize the difference in you. You see the difference in you. Like, shit, I'm actually more pissed off today. I'm pissed off every day. I think that's now my natural thing is just to be pissed off over something. But the ice bath definitely makes it a lot easier.
The ice bath, we're going over the ice bath again because we love it so much. But
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning and I go, I don't want to go in here. I get in and I'm like, I'm punishing myself here. Don't know what for or why I'm punishing myself.
Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying punishing myself right now.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying challenging my own brain. I'm really enjoying the pain, the discomfort, everything. And when you get out, it's just, for example, like today I was in for 10 minutes today because it was like 9 degrees.
It's
Water's
so
warmed
fucking
up,
warm.
water's
It's
warmed up.
ridiculous. It's so annoying.
So yeah, because I only like spending like 3 to 5 minutes in there because it's been so cold. But these past 2 days, I've been spending 10 minutes in there because it's been like 8-9 degrees, and I'm like, it's cold. It's still cold when you first get in.
Yeah, but
I think it's because we adapt to it so quickly. I don't know if like Keto or someone brand new started on that, they would be cold straight away. I think they would.
Yeah, they
because
would
I do
be.
shiver after, like
I don't shiver
like,
at all anymore, ever.
Well, when I was in there 10 minutes, I had a bit of shiver after my workout, but not for hours on end or whatever, or when I did have it. But I'm gonna have to start like making ice, or just start investing into one that keeps it at 2 degrees or something like that, which is what I was going to be predicting anyway.
Yeah, I have to do that at some point.
Because I didn't think I'd be so consistent, if I'm perfectly honest.
Well,
with
this
you.
is why I only spent £100 to start off with, and that was in December, and I'm still doing it now.
Oh, you recommended that to me, and I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, just
and I'm
get
glad
a cheap
I did,
one
because now I know I can spend money on a decent one, and I know I'll be fucking using it too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Imagine doing the journey that you've got so far with a 2 to 3 grand fucking ice tub,
and you don't want to do it anymore.
And you don't want to do it anymore. Like, I definitely want to continue this journey probably for the rest of my days.
Exactly the same here. I'm at that thing, but the problem we have is we're looking to move house. So at the minute, I have to see if we're going to have space. So we're looking again.
Are you selling both houses?
Yeah. So we're looking at
double bubble, baby.
We're looking at getting a big like 5-6 bedroom house, and then having
Oh, you
and I don't
don't
know.
have space then.
I don't. Yeah, but I don't know if I'll have the space in the garden for an ice bath. I don't know if I'll have a garage. I don't know. So at the minute, like I wanted to make an ice bath, but what's the point? Is I don't know if I have space to put it. Not only that, all my tools are gonna have to go into storage soon, because I don't know where. Like I can't. Yeah, I've got no time to do anything. We're going through Lucy's house at the minute, just skip putting stuff in the bin. Like we haven't used it, bin it. We're trying to get rid of everything that we don't use, so that when we do come to move, we can just throw everything in the van and go. So at the minute, I'm doing nothing but thinking about the move, and we've looked at new fridge freezers. We've been looking at new TVs. We've been looking at new furniture, new beds, going around IKEA, like thinking about how we're going to furnish the house and stuff. So for me to go and then spend £3 on an ice bath when we've got all that going on, I might even get rid of my Merc, because I got I think I've got a Mercedes Benz, my baby. I absolutely love my car, but I'm thinking of getting rid of it because I can get a company BMW for like 200 quid a month, and I can get an M5.
Was that with obviously with your work now? Have you never had that benefit before?
No, I've always been offered it. I've always been able to have a company car. You pay 200 quid a month, and I can have a brand new M5. It wouldn't be a problem. And then they give you a new one every 9 months. You just keep swapping it out every 9 months. They give you a new one. I've never done it because I don't really like BMWs. Even though I work for them, I know. But I've always liked Merc, so I love my Merc. But yeah, just because if we're gonna be moving in together and I'm gonna have to remortgage and everything, then probably have to get rid of the Merc and get rid of a load of stuff. So yeah, awful lot going on. So me building and
Beamer company, like in the long run, it's probably saving you fucking money anyway, and it's still a fucking really good car that you're gonna get. So
yeah, so the benefit of having that
and it's
car,
gonna be up to date all the time as well.
I won't have to pay insurance. I don't have to pay for me or Lucy. I don't have to pay services. I don't have to pay, if we break down, it's got recovery. I don't have, it literally
You
pays.
just have to pay for fuel.
Yeah,
and £200 a month.
Yeah, and if I'm away somewhere and I get a pop tire, they send out a brand new BMW. They don't just come and repair the tire. They just give you a brand new car, because it's bad for the brand for there to be a broken down one of their cars on the side of the road. It just doesn't look good. I mean, the amount of pictures there are of Range Rover broken down on the side of the road, and the meme is that Range Rovers don't fucking last because they're always on the back of a wagon. So yeah, BMW company cars, like, they look after you. Like, they really look after you. So yeah, might end up doing that. Yeah. So it's busy at the minute. Very busy.
I bet. When are you thinking of moving, like next year?
No, like in the next couple of months. Like,
oh really?
Yeah. So I've been down to like Big Yellow Storage.
Oh,
and
so
like,
you've done a lot of fucking. You viewed a house then,
bro. I literally like non-stop looking at houses. Yeah.
You have to send me some, and I'll give you my opinion if you want.
We found a really nice townhouse. It's on three floors. It's really nice. Yeah. We're looking around.
Floors are pretty cool. That's what we've got.
I don't want to say too much about like where, because this does go out on the internet, and there are some strange people out there.
But that's why I said just message me when you get it or whatever. Send me the link, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll give you the thing.
So having said that, actually, you may need to find someone to make you that fucking wedding desk, because I don't know if I'm gonna have time or the tools.
That's fine. If I'm being honest, I was speaking to Keita about it, and to be fair, I was gonna ask her like this week actually if she wants it to be made anyway. She was umming and ahhing about it. So
yeah, because I mean, a lot of my tools are in storage.
Yeah, that's fine, mate. To be fair, she said the reason why she was skeptical about it, she said she was going to find out, is you'd have made a DJ desk, right? But the DJ might not want to use it just in case it collapses or anything and all his kit breaks. Just for example, like if you had shit craftsman, which you definitely haven't, but like I'm just saying, like he might not trust the crafts, like the structure of it, and his kit's damaged and he's not insured because he's not using his kit. But yeah,
that's very clever of her. Well done, Keita.
Yeah, she can be quite smart sometimes.
It's amazing because if you listen to her voice and the way she talks, you think she's thick as shit.
No, she is kind of thick, but like
no, she's not. She's adorable.
No, she's thick sometimes, but like so am I. But like leaps and bounds. But it's like, for example, I posted something on my Instagram story about the I don't know if you saw it, with the Ukrainian war and feminism.
Fucking hell! Go on.
Did you see? Have you seen it?
Probably not. Go on, explain.
It's I'll send you a link and then you can play it on stream
Go on then.
on your thing.
How are you sending it me?
I'll send it you on. Have you got WhatsApp? Not WhatsApp. I can send it on WhatsApp. Oh no, I'll send it on your PC. So I'll send it you on Discord.
Yeah, send it on Discord.
Yeah. Sure. Copy link.
Don't worry, we'll all just wait for you.
You just wait for me. Right, where are you at, bitch?
You know, I love Bert Kreischer, the comedian.
Oh, there you are.
He's got his new stand-up comedy out. It's fucking absolute fire.
There you go,
Oh,
Shag.
here we go.
You can put it on a share.
Oh, this one. Yeah. Let me see if I can. Hang on. Can I rewind it? Hang on. Wait there. I'll do it again.
An 18-year-old man who doesn't want to go to war. Take Ukraine, for example. All the women could leave the country. All the men had to stay. You cannot leave Ukraine if you are a man between the ages of 18 and like 60 or 65. If you're a Ukrainian woman, you get to go to Stockholm, you get to go to Great Britain, you get to continue your hot girl summer. You know what the Ukrainian men were doing? Getting fucking massacred. So let's talk about privilege. Let's talk about privilege. They have to defend their country. If World War III is around the corner, there's no feminists when Russia invades. There's no
100%.
feminists when China invades. All these things that you often complain about, when shit hits the fan, we revert to our traditional gender roles.
100%.
You can't have feminism when there's a military conflict.
The silence.
The
is deadly there.
silence says it all. It's so fucking funny. Now, I am all for equal rights. 100%, man. Well, like, women should get paid the same as men for doing the same job. You know, the stereotype of women should be in the kitchen. Yeah, all of that bollocks. It's don't get me wrong. I find it amusing. I do find it amusing. It's funny as a joke, but that is you know, it's old hat. But at the same time, he's got a fucking valid point. Like, if you want to be treated completely equal, and you want it, if we go to war, you best be standing next to me, because you know they ain't. You know they won't be. He's completely right. Like, oh my god.
No, so this is what I showed Keita, and she said, "Oh yeah, I don't really agree with that." And I was like, "Okay, please elaborate."
Please
She
do,
says
Keith.
he's yeah. So this is what I mean. I could sort of see her view.
Okay.
She's saying that he's making feminists sound like they don't have a choice because women don't have a choice. The government have made their choice for them, and the women haven't. So the government have made the choice. And I was like, okay, I kind of get that, because the government have said women
Okay.
can go blah blah blah. I go. So I was just like, and he's having a dig at the women for not fighting.
Okay.
But the women don't have a choice to. And I'm like, can you see where she's coming from there?
I can.
You can, can't you? So it kind of like threw me off a bit, and I was like, yeah, I can see what you're at, but
Shouldn't throw you off at all.
yeah, why don't you
Because,
stay?
well, because they still have the right to enlist.
Yeah,
They're just not forced
exactly.
to.
Yeah,
So the choice is there. If you want to enlist and join up,
Yeah.
you are more than welcome to. They're not going to say no to you because you're a female.
Yeah.
What they're saying
Yeah.
is you're not forced to. And they're also saying that the males do not have a choice. You are
yeah.
forced
The males
to.
don't have a choice.
Yeah, so there's the difference. So no, you have got more rights than us when it comes to that. Like, you have the choice, and I guarantee you, if they say sign this piece of paper and you're probably going to get a bullet in the brain, or go to another country, 99.9% of those people will go to another country.
Yeah.
There will be very
I'm
few
not saying
women that
all
will.
women.
No, not
I'm
all
not saying
women.
all women.
Not all women. There
There's,
will be
like,
some
she'd have had-
absolute
she'd
hardcore
have-
motherfuckers.
Yeah, there's some valid points. She said, like, well, I said if China and Russia invade UK now, which is on the brink too, you know, because it's going to be like that in the next maybe potentially few years.
Mhm.
I said that the army come knocking on the door now, and said, right, because Ukraine is a bit more old school than us, like the men had to stay, shit bust. I probably believe, because this country, the way it is now, they probably will give you a choice between who will stay, the mum or dad. Who would you choose? And then she'll go, well, I'll choose you, won't I, to go and fight because
Yeah.
you're the most experienced. And I go, but I've got an injured ankle, so you're going to have to fight. Even though I know I would go and fight anyway. And deep down in me, and I don't know about you, you'd want to go and fight.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you have to fight to. If someone's about to invade your fucking your country where your kids are, where you've raised and 100%. You're raising your kids, you'd want to fight for them, innit? Because that's, you're not fighting.
Do you know what,
on
though?
The country, you're fighting purely for your kids, aren't you?
You look, right? We're of similar age. I'm older than you, obviously, but we're of similar age. People that are, say, 25 and younger don't know how to wire a plug. They are so fucking weak. Like, the idea of a man, the manly men, they don't exist anymore. These guys are too busy looking at themselves in a mirror or saying they're depressed and crying themselves to sleep. And I'm not belittling mental health. I'm just saying that the majority of people now either live with depression or they're so up their own ass they have no idea of the real world.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want someone like that next to me holding a fucking gun.
No.
I wouldn't. The whole point of being in the military is knowing that your brother has got your back. Like, if there is a grenade, you're fighting over each other as to who's going to jump on it and take that fucking for the team. These days, these young men ain't going to do that. They're too scared. They'll all want to be cooks. They'll all want to be the ones back at barracks.
That's what's happening in Russia at the moment, isn't it? They're sending farmers to a war. They're sending millions of farmers, and but as in Ukraine, their army's a bit better trained. They've got better equipment now because we've helped them out. It's all over. Like, it only takes Putin to press a big red button and shit like that. Like, he won't give a fuck.
Well, he's now. They're trying to arrest him, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So he's now fucked.
I was thinking that's a bit.
He's now fucked.
I don't know. Like, it comes. I don't know how that works. I don't know the full ins and outs. I know they warrant an arrest, but try and get him through his fucking security. It's gonna be.
Doesn't matter. Like, it was the same as Gaddafi. Like, it's the same. They'll get him in the end. They've now basically said war crimes, mate. You've gone too far.
Do you find it strange how like 40 of his main officers with high command officers that have a large say in the army and the military aspect have died from falling out of balconies?
Oh, I didn't know about that. I kind of bury my head in the sand when it comes to all this.
No, so like I think like last week one of his high-end colonels died from falling off a balcony, and it's like the 20th one in the
falling
past
off
year. Yeah. So there's obviously like his own men and people behind him don't want to carry on down this road where he's going, and he's just like, no, well, you're getting chinned off then, mate.
See you later.
Yeah, it's more of a dictatorship now.
Just very quickly going back to the whole women thing. In World War II and like World War I, the women were actually, if people actually do the read about it,
I know what
the women were the ones that kept the war going. If it wasn't for the fucking women,
the rations,
the
ammo,
and they were the ones in the factories making the ammo. They were the ones in the factories making Spitfires. They were the women making the for the paratroopers, making their parachutes and stuff. It was all the women with the sewing machines. It was all the women were the fucking hardcore motherfuckers that actually gave the men the tools to go out there and do what they had to do.
Obviously,
so it was a joint effort.
The harder stuff. Like
like taking a bullet.
The more like the most like I look back and think those men back then were like it makes me I get emotional about it because I'm thinking, imagine you now sat in a fucking trench, me and you right now, like we're talking how technology changed. We're sat next to each other now. We've never met. You're from Oxford, I'm from Hereford. We're sat in a fucking trench. Fucking Hitler's fucking trying to bomb fucking our cities and that. And we're like, all right, mate. Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, how are you? Yeah. Talking about our sons. Oh, yeah, Cobain, Ollie, and, Tom Luce. Tom. Yeah, Tom's a good boy and all that. And then they're like, right, we've got to walk over this fucking, this trench now and just die.
Yeah.
And that's it, and just... And they were just... And you see all the pictures and they're all in the fucking gutter with rats, dead blokes next to them.
Yeah.
And they're just like, smiling like,
What else can they
like
do?
fucking battling through it, like you know. And
the I
I
think
feel like today's generation is of wiping out. Like I
they
saw
don't
a
know
video
about
of
it.
someone I saw people tearing down Winston Churchill statues.
Oh, mate, this
I've
fucking
seen that.
scum of
Have
the
you not
earth.
seen that?
Yeah, of course I
And it's
have.
all the left. It's the
Scumbags.
left saying that it's offensive because it's a toxic masculine man
Dickheads.
right there.
The I think the one
against
that
all our
upsets
rights.
me the most, or one of the you know, and if people are interested and they want to not know what it feels like, because none of us will know what it feels like, but the people, if you watch the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan,
Yeah.
those men in those ships stood no chance, zero.
Mm.
Not there wasn't even a small hope in hell that they was going to survive that. They literally shipped these men to the beach, and they all died.
Yeah.
The whole time you're on those boats, the whole time you know that in the next hour you're going to be dead. But that was your mission.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Knowing you're leaving your family
Crazy.
and everything behind. And nowadays people are whinging about their commute to work. Oh, it takes me an hour sitting in traffic. Fuck me.
I did all the Battlefield tour, and I think you have as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
I went to this place when I was younger. I remember I was about 15 when I went, and I remember there was this place where this one battle, particular, I can't fucking remember top of my head. I might look it up later and do it on the next podcast. But there was a point where this open field had just barbed wire, and there was this one bit of barbed wire which was cut through because one guy managed to get there and cut through this barbed wire for the British blokes to fucking get through the defense, and he died doing that. So then the Germans set up a GPMG, like a machine gun, just at that one bit
point.
of defense. And this German alone killed hundreds of British troops in this one area, to the point where he started crying, and the generals of the Germans had to fucking kill him because he wouldn't fight. He would not shoot anyone else, and they were getting through.
Mad,
How
isn't it?
mad's that? So that German was killing hundreds of British troops trying to get through that one pit, to the point where there was a picture and there was like 30 bodies on top, and they were trying. I can't remember. But yeah, obviously all like that shit. Like it was just crazy, like, you know, and people just do not appreciate that these days and what they've got. And
have you ever watched
I don't know
Schindler's
if you
List?
saw my last. Do you see my last? No, I haven't seen that. Have you seen my last Instagram?
Probably not.
I said that I did edit out a bit, but my main message of it was today's society do not generate too simple like messages. Basically, when I was growing up, a good phrase when I was younger, real young, was, because you did get bullying in school. I got called names, I got punched about and stuff like that, you know, and you know, I think that's part of life. But my parents used to always say to me, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." And that stuck with me.
It's bollocks, eh?
And but today it is, yeah. Because no one says that to them.
No.
People, you say something online, like for example, the John Wick actor died at 60, and someone put on there, "We have to start asking questions. People are dying too young these days, you know." And then someone got offended and say, "What are you trying to refer to?" "I'm guessing you're trying to refer to the COVID jab straight away. You're a fucking, you know, have some respect for this guy, blah, blah, blah." And went on a huge tangent. I was just looking at the comments and laughing. And his response was, "Are you fucking mad? You've just taken offense to my fucking simple comment of like, we need to start asking questions why people are dying naturally so young." And that's all he said. And she literally assumed he was on about the COVID jab and stuff like that. And she goes, "You're a fucking like pussy generation," or whatever. Like,
People get offended over everything these days. It's fucking mental. But just very quickly, going back to what you saying about Jew killing, not a Jew, about a German killing loads of British. Do you see I can't remember if this man, Nicholas Winton, I don't know if he was Jewish. He was a Nazi, but I think he was actually Jewish and pretending to be a Nazi, or he was actually a Nazi, but he had feelings for the Jews. It was something along those lines. But
along those lines, okay.
He worked in Auschwitz, and he was basically smuggling kids out of the back of Auschwitz. And there's
wow.
mate, there's this brilliant video of him, he doesn't know why he's there.
Mm.
So hang on, I'll just rewind that bit there. It's important what she says. He doesn't know why he's there.
Is there anyone in our audience tonight who owes their life to Nicholas Winton?
Everyone stands up.
He was
at
always the
him.
most reluctant of heroes. But there were many more beyond this room who owed their life to Nicholas Winton. On a trip to Prague just before the outbreak of the Second World War, the young stockbroker saw the growing refugee crisis. He arranged 8 trains from Prague to London, delivering almost 700 mainly Jewish children to the safety of foster families.
It was not something I felt I had to do. It was something I wanted to do.
He never spoke about it for 50 years
50
until his
years
wife
he kept
discovered
quiet.
documents about the rescue mission in their loft. But even when he broke his silence publicly, it was regret for the children he didn't manage to save that he most wanted to talk
What
about.
a gangster.
250 children in the train, ready to leave in Prague. War broke out and they were sitting ducks then for Hitler. They all were killed.
What a gangster. What an absolute
Even though
gangster.
He saved so many, he still was like pissed off that he couldn't save them all. Which
What a
is
gangster.
like a sign of. It's not like, oh yeah, look at me, I saved them that, and he didn't say anything. Like
For 50
yeah,
years,
absolute
mate.
Hero. Yeah.
50
Yeah.
years, he kept his fucking mouth shut. 50 fucking years. So the people these days that walk around going, I'm hard as fucking nails, I can fucking chin this geezer, I'm fucking... It's not those people you need to worry about. It's the quiet ones. The ones that don't walk around like they're hard as nails. The ones that don't walk around bragging. They're normally the ones that you need to fear, or they're the ones that you need to put on a pedestal because they've done something amazing or they're capable of doing something amazing. People that have to tell everyone how cool they are normally the ones that are the most fucking R-word.
And I'd say, yeah, and I'd say they're more mentally weak as well.
Yeah.
100% mentally weak. If they start bragging about what they've done and done this and done that, and I've done the right thing, and look at me and all that shit.
Your
That's
boy
more of the attention seeking,
saved
like,
hundreds of kids from going to concentration camps. Hundreds of kids from like eating bullets. Hundreds of the motherfuckers, and didn't tell a soul for 50 years. Oh my God. All these kids knew growing up was that some man saved their life. They didn't know who he was, why he done it, but they were safe and they were surviving. Sadly, their parents were killed, but they survived. They didn't find out until they were 60, because if he kept it quiet for 50 years, they would have been around 56, 57, all the way up to like 65. And then they get called to a hall to meet the man that saved their life, and he doesn't know about it. And when she says, does anyone owe their life to Nicholas? And everyone, every motherfucker, hundreds of people stand up, and he's just sat there like, oh shit, I saved all of you. Oh, okay. Gangster.
100%.
Oh my God.
100%, man.
And he died at 103 or something. What a lad.
It deserved a long life. 100%,
What a lad.
Man. 103, 106.
So
What's
what?
your change of absolute subject here? What's your view on climate change?
Fucking bollocks.
I'm kind of glad I agree with you. We agree on that.
Fucking bollocks.
What makes you think it's bollocks?
It's not even making me think, mate. It's fact. It's
Yeah.
So
I'm
think
guessing
it's...
when you were younger, they were saying we're gonna.
No, okay.
They were saying we're gonna run out of fuel, run out of this, run out of all that shit.
They
They said it when my dad was when he was younger. My dad was 12, and they said in the next 20, 30 years we're all gonna be underwater. My dad was 12. He's now 64.
Climate change statistics. Climate change. Get the facts. So there is a thing. 12,000 years. So every it's hot is for the least. So I think it's 12,000 years. So every 12,000 years or so, the world will heat up or cool down, and it's a cycle. It's an absolute cycle. So we went through the Ice Age. Yeah, like people seem to think, and we're still kind of coming out of the Ice Age. It takes thousands of years, and we're still kind of coming out of it. So the Earth is going to get hotter and hotter and hotter, and then randomly it will start getting colder and colder. But that is just the natural cycle of the Earth if you look into history. But it's just easy to make money off of fear mongering and saying, oh, well, you know, because you keep using your fucking petrol car, all the seals are dying. Yeah, nice.
Mate,
Bollocks.
I'm glad we kind of see eye to eye to that, because I just don't get. I say it so. I think they are genuinely running out of oil, though.
100%, yes.
They're genuinely running out of oil.
Yeah.
I don't know, because there's a few things, telltale signs is obviously there's Musk really wanting to get to Mars like super quick, because obviously there's resources on Mars.
Yeah.
Well, potentially oil as well, because they have found water on Mars, so technically Mars will have a shit ton of oil.
Everything we need is up there.
Yeah. And then he'll create some sort of shuttle run to bring it back to Earth, or even adapt to living over there. Anyway, that's just one random thing. Oil is running low because obviously wire energy is going up. Fuck knows, because we've got the most solar panel, wind turbine, wave, water, like all.
Hey, British Gas has made 12 billion profit a year, and it's going up. It was 152 billion. 152 billion record. So they're just making more money. They're fear mongering and making more money. Do I believe we're running out? Of course, we're going to run out of everything. The planet is only so big, but it's mostly fear mongering, mostly.
And they say, I don't know if I posted something about the other day where global warming. I can't remember what his name is now. Real rich fella, he fucking ruthless. Just tells you how it is.
Oh, the old geezer.
Yeah. He said something about the banks. He goes, if global warming was a real thing, the banks would not give you a fucking loan. The banks would not invest in you to buy. So why all these multi-millionaires, billionaires buying houses on the coast? Why are they doing that? Because they're fucking dirt cheap, because people are selling dirt cheap because they think they're going to be underwater in the next 20 years. Are they? Fuck. They're selling dirt cheap now, so they're going to make millions in the future, because they put up prices, people are going to buy them, or like have to do mortgage again, rebuy them. It's never going to go up there. And he's like, fuck, like just made sense in that sort of sense. And electric cars and all that shit as well. It's like, I feel like COVID was another thing in regards to the oil and stuff as well, to reduce the amount of travel.
COVID's so annoying. COVID is so annoying, because I believe in COVID. I just don't believe it was as bad as it was made out to be. However, I feel they needed to make it sound as bad as it was to make people realize that this is actually fucking serious. I think it just coincided that there were some ruthless, badass motherfuckers that sat there and thought, we can make a lot of money off this. Because I think it's like over 50 people just in the UK became billionaires because of COVID. 50 people just in our country became billionaires because of COVID. So there's some ruthless motherfuckers that made money out of it. Was it you that sent me that?
I sent you one with Andrew Tate saying about a pandemic.
Yeah,
and there was a podcast I said to you, and you said, and I remember you saying to me, was it a pandemic though? Was it a pandemic? It was said pandemic in the news and all that stuff like that, pandemic. And I said, yeah, in a way, yeah, it was, but like, and you go, well, there you go then, it was a pandemic. And I was like, fair enough, you've got me there. But then when he said, yeah, pandemic, this or not, I can't remember the video exactly.
He goes, did you see a pandemic? He said, did you see ambulances? Did you see
everywhere? Did you see them all rush off? And you didn't. And it's like, well, there you go. It's not a fucking pandemic, is it?
Do you know what's crazy? Do you know what's crazy about that? I think I'm mostly annoyed about COVID because I think a lot of it I fully believed, and now I look back and I'm like, hang on a minute. So we had to.
You're not the only one though.
So my son
is exactly the same. Key is exactly the same.
My son, he's got like respiratory problems, as you know, and he has to go in and out of hospital. Oh. And wait a minute, shut the fuck up, you knobhead, right? So I'm used to being at the hospital. I'm used to being in the child's ward. It's just something I know how it works. I know. I even recognize the fucking nurses. I'm there that often, right? Now, normally we go down there, and the first time we were there for like 5-6 hours. The next time they knew a little bit more about Tom, so he was in quicker and he was up in the child's ward. But so let's say 3.5, 4 hours. When he was rough during COVID, he was there for 10 minutes. There was no one there. The hospital was a ghost town. And the nurses were saying it's all over the news that we are rammed. And she was like, we're not. People are now too scared to come to hospital. People that would normally come to hospital because they've got a sore hand suddenly now don't come to A&E. They've realised that A&E isn't as important. So we had to go to hospital, I think, 2 or 3 times with Tom during COVID. We were in and out in under an hour because it was so fucking quiet There was literally doctors waiting to see somebody. Yet on the news, when they talked about a local hospital, they were saying that they were overrun and it was manic. And I was just like, but I've just been there. It's not. It really weird. There was
It's
a lot
mad,
of weird
isn't it?
shit like that. The other thing, I was talking to my mate Lucas about it the other day, just on a slightly funny note,
Yeah.
how beer ran out apart from Corona. Like you'd go down the beer aisle and it was just
Yeah,
crate
yeah,
after
it's just
crate of Corona, and
Corona.
everything else was gone. Like these
Yeah,
dumb
yeah.
motherfuckers. So we're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
not drinking Corona,
Mm.
morons.
No, you're not the only one. I feel like you're over that COVID thing. I think you're slowly waking up. I don't think you're fully woken up like I was from the very beginning. Like I had many arguments with people about it, saying,
No, I still think you're a dick.
No, I get that.
I still think you're dumb as fuck. And that won't ever change. That won't ever change. So I just feel like because I feel I done everything that I thought was necessary to keep my family safe. So if scientists, because I have full faith in things, if scientists and people are telling me you need to get this jab, it can save your family's life, it can save your nan's life, I don't give a fuck. If you told me that I need to take a bullet to my fucking head and it will save my family's life, I'm doing it. I'm not questioning that shit. So we'll always disagree on that. However, it's like at the time, like I feel like everyone should have just gone and got the jab and stop fucking thinking about it too much. Now, looking back, do I wish I hadn't got the jab? Yeah, I wish I hadn't got the jab. But at the time, I made the right decision because I made the decision for my family.
Yeah, I was gonna have the jab. I genuinely was, exactly the same reasons as you, and it was just this one point where, like I said, with the media, while I come across this doctor explaining, a genuine doctor, and then I told people about it. I was like, oh mate, this doctor's just put up on YouTube and on his Twitter about what he's found in these vaccines and stuff that they've just made in such a short amount of time. And by the time I shared it, his account got deleted, everything got deleted. And then I was like, what the fuck? And I was searching them up. I was like, boys, and then that's what triggered me. I was like, why has that been deleted?
Yeah.
And then everything if you put COVID in any sort of text on your thing, it come up with like this information bar of the NHS and all that shit. And I was thinking, there's something happening here that ain't right. And I'm gonna wait out for a bit because obviously I wanted the elderly to get jabbed first because I thought, well, I'm younger, blah 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 blah. And as time went on, my decision just went, I ain't having it.
The whole thing, I will agree with you. The whole thing is fucked. There's something wasn't right. Something there was going on. Something's been slid under the table. We will probably never know what that was, but it wasn't 100% what they were saying it was. However, living in the moment.
No, you did the right thing.
Listening to the stories, doing what I felt was right for my family at the time. I'm not pissed 100%. Off with a single decision we made to isolate, to not go to work, to take the jabs. I didn't go and get my booster. I didn't get my second jab. I only got one jab.
So you got only one.
I only got the one. Because then I started to read more and see more into it. But at the time, I feel like me and my family done everything we could have done and should have done. Now, with the knowledge I have now, if it all kicked off again,
you can see it all now.
I wouldn't bother.
Have you seen the 2022 results last year?
No.
90% of COVID deaths still going around, obviously, because it hasn't gone. 90% of the deaths, all those people, the 90% of them are triple jabbed. 10% not jabbed at all.
Mad, isn't it? Did your dad get jabbed?
Yeah, he got jabbed. He's never ever had a flu jab. Not a single flu. Not like the normal winter flu. He had the vaccine, and he said his legs didn't feel right after. He said, "Oh, I don't know. It could be like a reaction or whatever." And a month later, he's found out he's got heart failure.
Yeah. So, do you think that they coincide?
I think it's a coincidence. I think
You don't think it has anything to do with it. You think it is just a coincidence.
No, I think it has something to do with it. Yeah.
Oh, well, then that's not a coincidence, then, is it? You dumb fuck.
No. He thought it was a coincidence at the time. Okay. Like, blah blah blah. But when I explained to him, I said, "What this doctor said, myocarditis and heart failure is a very blood clots is a big one as well. Yeah. Blood clots only got sneaked into the media a very big fraction. It was actually a lot higher percentage. But that's what I mean. You just got to do your research and shit. And most of it's not on YouTube, TikTok, and all that shit because it gets all masked. You genuinely have to look through all these
Yeah, it's
articles and
hard.
doctors' names. It is hard to research it and have your own opinion on it. But
Me and Lucy are fine. Like, we've had the
Yeah.
jab and we're absolutely fine.
yeah,
And this might sound really dumb because I don't know how this shit works, but we had that jab years ago, so it's not in my system now. I don't know what damage
No,
it may have
well,
caused. I
yeah,
don't know what,
well,
but I'm fine.
a vaccine with a vaccine, there's short, medium term, and long term in it. So you don't know. It could be still affecting you now, medium term. So you might not have like a short term effects. We know.
Did you have
Heart-
any jab?
Heart failure's got up. No, I didn't have any.
Any?
Not flu, nothing.
What about Keita?
I
Did
know-
she?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she had the boot. I think she had 2, but then she wanted her to have a third one. But she's totally agreed. Like she said, I can't believe we used to abide by sitting down, eating in a pub, and then as soon as we stand up, we have to put a fucking mask on to go to the toilet. Like, how does that make sense? And I was like, well, duh, I was saying that at the fucking time. And it's like, yeah, but it's to stop the spread, isn't it? I go, well, you're fucking in the same room eating. Like, you're listening to the news and all that. And I was like, and that's what I was saying, arguing with her. They were like, no, you got to do it. And I was like, and I was arguing with her about, and everyone else, because I never used to wear masks.
I was at the hospital
just like-
last night and there was loads of people wearing masks because they were giving them out for free at the doctors at the hospital. And I took one just because I wanted to be polite and make other people feel comfortable. But then loads of people were just taking them off. So I took it off in the end. We went on holiday and my sister refused to wear a mask. And the people at the holiday camp were like, well, you kind of have to be here. And she was being a bit of a knob about it. And I was just like, that was actually the last time we went on holiday. We actually had a massive argument. I haven't really spoken since. But she was being a proper knob about it. I was like, just put it on. Like, who are you hurting? Like, just fucking, just. She was one of those fucking people. But yeah, it's an odd one, man. It really is
It's
an
only
odd
time
one.
will tell. Time. I remember.
I don't think we'll find out in our lifetime. I think it'll be one of those
Not
things
really.
that's taught in history in like 50 to 100 years, and it will come out. Oh, the big fucking COVID conspiracy. What was actually happening was blah 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 blah.
Yeah, well, it's always like that. When one thing's like, it's like this Ukraine war now. There's other things. It's all about Ukraine, and it's not about what's happening in Syria and all other countries and Jerusalem and all that shit.
You
and all
see, Trump is trying to get back into power. How do you feel about that?
Does.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope he does.
Yeah,
Oh, mate,
same.
like I've been a Trump fan from the very start. Like he's not.
Mate.
He's like when Biden was in, and since Biden's been in charge, the USA have like, the fucking East are laughing at him, mate. Like
He sat there and he goes, the first thing I'll stop is people abusing our kids. He goes, why are you
100%.
teaching? He was like, why are they teaching kids they can be cross-gender when they're fucking 12 years old? He was like, I'm going to stop that bollocks. Like, he's
younger
just,
than that.
yeah,
3.
he's going in. Like, he's just like, we're stopping all of that nonsense. We're not abusing our kids anymore. He goes, there's 2 genders, male and female. And he's like, he's just going in on it. And anyone who takes offense to me saying that, I'm quoting what he says. And actually, scientifically, there are only 2 genders.
There is 2 genders, yeah. And
However-
if you are offended, I don't really give a fuck because I'm gonna be cruel to be kind. There's 2 fucking genders.
There are.
If you want to be a different gender to what you were at birth, that's fine.
Yeah, and
Nothing
I
with
will
that.
respect that. We don't have to understand it.
But you don't have to be a teacher in kindergarten in America teaching 3-year-olds that that is a boy or girl. Do you want to be a oh you like earrings? Oh, you're a girl now. There
Bro,
you go. And then drill it into them. Like, go and fuck yourself.
Have you seen the GIMP shows they've been giving kids?
Yes, the drag queen ones.
Drag queen, like
The
people
tits
dressed in.
out.
They're dressed
Did you
as
watch
like
the Matt Walsh clip?
probably, yeah. I've
I
seen
think
a
it was
lot
you that
about it.
sent me.
Mate, there's
I think it's you
people
that
and
sent me.
they're wearing like GIMP masks and like titty tassels and they're dancing for kids and babies and the parents are there loving it. Every
Yeah.
single one of those need their computer hard drives checked. Every single one.
100%.
That should be a sting operation. That should be a police sting operation. Any parent that turns up to that should be immediately arrested and investigated by social services. What the fuck? Oh, they don't actually look at the sexuality. They're just looking at the colours. Well, if they're not looking at the sexuality, remove it. It doesn't need to be there. If they're just looking at the colours, why is the sexuality even there? Just get rid of it. If it's not needed, if it's not a thing, remove it. Fucking mental.
It's getting a bit out of hand, if I'm being honest.
Mate,
It's
if
gonna
anyone
come to
takes
the
my
point
kid
where
to that, I'm
it
stabbing him
has
in
to
the
be a
throat.
revolution, right?
Oh, there will be. There will be. This
I think there will be a
going that way.
revolution in a few years.
I don't know if you've
the way
noticed the
it's going.
change in Twitter and Instagram, but slowly but surely people are starting to go, hang on a minute, Derek, hang on, this is bollocks. So more people are being outspoken now and being like, nah, fuck this, mate.
I'm saying what I want on Instagram now. I don't give a fuck. Like
I
I
have
put on there
noticed.
today.
I've
You
noticed.
have heard? Have you?
I've noticed you a little bit more.
It's like, for example, imagine if I put he/him in my bio. You see, so you click on my fucking, you click on my profile. You see a picture of me, and it says 29, veteran, male. I want to be referred as he/him. That shouldn't even, he/him shouldn't even be a thing
Mental.
to require that to. Like, I don't get, like, I've noticed a few. I went into, actually, I'll tell you a story. Went to a streamer's, I can't remember what the streamer's name.
Just very quickly, before you jump into that, have you seen Sam Smith saying "fish of them"?
Yeah.
Carry on. I just wanted to throw that out there. Fish of them. I'll be a fish of them. Fuck
Fish of
off.
them. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Anyway, I went into a Twitch stream the other day. Just random. Some woman doing art. Don't say I just assumed she was quite a pretty. She did art, face, you know, a bit like Jari. Probably knows her, I don't know. She had about 100 something viewers. I went in there and I looked at her bio and I thought, she's pretty tidy, you know. She's pretty, you know. And I just thought I'll go in there, say hello. But then I looked at her bio, see how old she was. She was like, I can't remember now, like 27 or something like that. And it said she/her, and I went. That was the first thing I went. Huh? What the fuck's that all about? So I typed in, I go, why do you have she/her in your bio? Isn't it pretty obvious?
Oh my god. You got banned.
Deleted. And she goes, and I went, okay. And then I typed something and I go, deleted for a simple question. Banned. I went, she goes, Pricey, I can see what you're doing there. Pricey, I can see what you're doing there. I don't want any hate speech and all that, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you look it up and actually educate yourself and all that? And I was like, I'm asking you a fucking question why you've got it on there. And then I went into a Discord and went, right, thank you for the ban. Really appreciate it. And also, just a bit of advice, rather than banning people for asking questions, why don't you fucking educate them? And then I left the Discord. I sent it.
Do you know what's really funny is
that's stupid, isn't it? I'm asking a genuine question.
The other thing, what people don't realise that you have at in your arsenal is that your sister was born male.
Yeah, transgender.
You don't have to tell people that, obviously, but the amount of people that will think you're being an arsehole and you're uneducated and you know nothing about the situation, when actually, if they took 2 minutes to talk to you, you're probably better educated than fucking most people.
Yeah.
And it's just like, fucking hell.
Exactly. Yeah, to the age of 16, until she sadly took her life.
My sister is a burns victim, so she's covered in scars all over her. And most burn victims will like cover up their body. They'll wear big baggy trousers or big baggy jumpers or whatever. But my sister, she'll have her arms out, she'll have her legs out, and she hopes that people ask her questions so that she can educate. Because she's like, if I hide it, other kids might mess around with hot water or fire and become a burns victim. Whereas if I show them my scars and go, look, these are my scars. This is what happened to my body because this happened to me. Please don't make the same mistake I did or don't go down the same path. And she'll invite people to ask questions rather than just stare at her like some sort of freak in the street. So you would think that if you are trans or if you are that way and someone came up and asked you a question, like direct to your face, you'd rather that than them spout shit on the internet and talk about you behind your back. Wouldn't you much rather and go, hang on a minute, are you confused? Is there a reason why you're going down? Is there a reason for the pronouns? Educate me, like teach me. I'm not trying to be a dick. I just want you to educate. Like, but rather that they'll go, I'm offended. You're transphobic. See you later. Fuck off. Just like, how are we supposed to learn unless you fucking talk to us? You bunch of.
But that's the radical left, though. It is a radical left. They are radical left. I've never been like a left or right or anything like that, or like I didn't quite understand the whole role of it, but I kind of like this past like month, I'm like, yeah, I can understand where
fucking fish of them
and all that bollocks. But
what a
if you've got a scar on you guys, embrace it.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard. That's what I've done. And I don't know if you've noticed, I've got a scar here. It's not shaven; it's a scar. But all I've done is I've just trimmed because the hair was real long. What I did every day was lick it and then cover it. Because I don't like it. But like you said, I was like, I'm going to have it there because if anyone asks, I'm like, don't hang around sharp, pointy things. because you might lose an eye.
My
And
teacher
that is
lost his eye because of that.
Yeah, I almost lost my eye. So like that, if anyone asks, like, why have you shaved your eyebrow? I go, it's not shaven, it's a scar. So like, yeah.
I remember being
So,
in
embrace it.
I was actually in, you know, we were talking earlier, where we go on holiday. They've got a little corner shop there, and I was there with my sister, and she was in like a strappy top, so her arms are out, and this little girl was just fucking staring at my sister's arms. Because where the elbow joint is, she's got no skin. You can just see bone.
Oh yeah.
So
really?
you can see the layers of the skin go all the way down. Like literally, like you've cut, like geography, if you cut a hill in half, you can see the different layers of the soil.
Yeah.
You can see the same on her elbow, the different layers of the skin, until it gets to the actual ball joint. You can see it. It's mad. So she's
really?
Yeah. So there's like obviously a layer of skin over that, but you can see the ball joint.
Thin. Yeah.
So she's in the shop, and this little girl is staring at her, and you can see it in this girl's eyes. She is desperate to ask. And her mum walks up, puts her hands over her eyes, and goes, "Oh no, baby, don't stare at people. It's rude." And my sister was the one. Now, bear in mind, my sister would have probably been about 12 at the time. She turned around and went, "No. Let her ask. Let her talk to me so I can educate her. Because at that time, my sister, not only did she have that, but she had a port, like a metal hole, and she had a balloon on her arm. So the port, she would put like 600 mils of water every day. The balloon would expand, stretch the skin. Then they would cut the skin and use that skin as a skin graft because her skin was dead. It wouldn't grow with her body as she was growing. So they kept doing this procedure. It was brand new at the time. So my sister looked like a fucking freak. She had this massive balloon in her arm, a metal port, and a fucking bone stick. She looked fucking mental. And this kid just wanted to ask questions, but the parent was like, "Don't ask questions. No. Do ask. Do ask questions. It doesn't matter if you offend somebody. If they're offended, that's their fucking problem. If you ask the question in a polite and genuinely, like, I want to learn why you're doing this kind of way, then you can't really go wrong." So them banning you from a chat for asking a question is fucking mental. People are so quick to get offended.
100%. What do you think the age point where it is very soft, or I like to call pink and fluffy?
What, as in where people are weak as fuck now?
Yeah.
25 and under.
You reckon?
25 and under, they're weak as fuck.
I'm probably gonna agree with you on that one.
Yeah, 25 and under are a bunch of pussies that think the world owes them something, and think that if they sit in their bedroom all day crying, that one day someone's going to turn around and give them everything they want: a nice house, money, nice car.
It's round about
never going to happen.
Age, isn't it? 25, like max 25.
Yeah. 25 and under, a bunch of pussies have absolutely no idea what real pain is.
Yeah, at the moment,
yeah. I mean, you've been in the military, you've seen shit that people shouldn't see. I've just had a normal upbringing where my dad was hard as fuck on me. It is what it is. Like, if you want nice things, you got to work for it. But these days,
but we're soft compared to our parents.
Fuck me, aren't I?
My parents are soft compared to their parents.
My dad was a fucking tank.
It kind of goes like tough, easy, and then it'll go back to tough again. There's a saying, isn't there?
Weak men. Weak men make hard times. Hard times create hard men. Hard men create, and it goes on like that. So hang on, let me find it.
Easy times or something like that.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, and that is a fucking banging quote.
And
we're at the point now where
hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. Yeah.
So we're at the good times creating weak men.
Yeah. So at the minute, life is pretty good in the UK.
And what's the one before that?
So hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times.
Yeah, so we're probably like the strong going into good, and then good going into weak, and then weak is going to go, and then it's getting to that point now. It's going to weak to go into good to go into weak. Good times going into weak times.
I think the hardest thing is breaking the cycle. There's a lot of, and I mean this from the heart, there is a lot of poor, unfortunate young men out there who have dickheads as parents. Like, their parents are scumbags that have never got off their ass and done anything for themselves. They're not a positive influence on these kids' lives, and that can go one or two ways. These young people can go, fuck that, I want a better life, I'm not being like my parents. or they go, this is just the way life is, so I need to be a scumbag as well. And it's really difficult. It's really difficult. I won't go into details, but there's a young lad not too far away from where I live, and I just want to help him because he has potential to be such a good lad, but his influences around him are so fucking bad. He's just going to grow up to be exactly the same. And he's on a slippery slope. He's doing the same shit. He's got nothing to do with me. It's none of my business. But I can see that there is a lad in there that desperately could be amazing. But he's got nothing to do with me. So I've got no way of like talking to him more. But he's into motorbikes. I can see myself in him, basically. He could be a really good lad, but he's got no positive influence. I was really lucky. I had my grandfather, I had my dad, and my stepdad, and them three were amazing. They really were. Yeah. But yeah, but today,
today's society, like everyone's like, I've been Makita for like almost 13 years, mate. Like I don't think that's gonna even like today's generation are even gonna come close to that.
Isn't that mad?
I'm marrying her after 13 years.
And also, like, one other thing. When you get a job, how long are you normally in that job for?
Yeah, well.
So people these days under the age of 25 will be in a new job every 6 months and think that's normal. Even if I didn't like it there, so I'm going to work in the shop next door. I don't like it at Sainsbury's, so I'm going to go and work in Tesco. I didn't like so every 6 months, mate. I worked in Currys for 10 years and hated every second of it, but I just stuck it out because this is what you do. I've been working at BMW for 10 years. I actually quite like it, to be fair. But every job I've stuck at to for a few years. Even Lucy was saying the same thing the other day. She goes, when I get a job, I stick at it for at least 5 to 10 years. But people these days, like they'll be in a job for a month and just give it up. Like what the fuck?
Yeah. And the discipline as well, like
there is none.
So yeah, my dad was having his boat out, and he had to have it welded. And the welder's been doing welding for like 18 years. This bloke, and he said, "Oh, I've got an apprentice coming tomorrow." And we were like, oh, "Okay, happy days." And I asked him about it. I was like, "Oh, is he?" He was like, "Yeah, he just turns up late, doesn't give a fuck, no enthusiasm and all that." And I go, "Oh, it's just the next generation, mate. It's just genuinely
it's just where they are.
Like they've just got no fucking, you know."
So I can't talk about where I work now because we've got very strict policies on that sort of thing. So a factory I used to work at that used to do the exact same thing. There was a new guy at my old factory, not this one because I'm not allowed to talk about this one, but at my old factory there was a new guy, and after one session, 2 hours and 45 minutes at the old factory. He quit, right? He was too scared to ask security to let him out, so he tried climbing the razor sharp fence.
No.
Yeah, he got his bag stuck on the razor sharp fence and was hanging there for 3 hours waiting for someone to get him down. Fucking, his hands were cut to shreds. His fucking that's at the old factory.
My God,
that wouldn't happen. Can't talk about the new that wouldn't happen here. It was another factory I worked at.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant. So many stories of that sort of shit going on. Anyway, bro, we've been talking for an hour and 25 minutes now, or 23.
That's all good.
So we're gonna have to love you and leave you there.
Yeah, I'll speak to you after when we end the podcast for a little 5 minutes because you get on my tits after that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we were gonna end the podcast with something cool that the kids have done.
Right. Yeah.
What's Cobain done recently? Or Ollie?
So Cobain, he's passed like since the last podcast. You've had an operation. You've had your tonsils and your adenoids taken out. You were very brave. I held you in my arms when you got put to sleep, and it was the most. And I actually shed a tear because it was very sad. But you went to sleep very peacefully, and you woke up happy chappy. So yeah. And Ollie, you today actually funny story. We are trying to teach you, like potty train you, and you were on the climbing frame today, and because you had no nappy on, you were pissing from the top of a climbing frame, and it was dripping down on some little girl's head, and I had to run out and grab you and take you to the bush because you pissed your pants.
Sounds like a good day.
As I was pissing in the bush with him, you also took a shit. and I had to bury it in the bark.
No way.
It was right in the corner, like in the bush.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it was like
yeah,
where
yeah.
the kids weren't
I know what
playing.
you
Like,
mean.
you know, it was like, yeah. But,
Savage.
yeah, savage. You?
So for some unknown reason, unbeknownst to me, my kids are currently fascinated with death and what happens after you die. So you guys keep asking me, well, what happens when you die? And I'm sat there like, no, don't know what to tell you. So they keep coming up with like so many fucking questions right now, and it's doing my fucking head in. Like, I don't know what to tell them. I don't want to lie to them and be like, well, there's a man up there with a massive beard, and tell them all about God. Because I'm agnostic, so I don't believe in it. So it's so hard for me right now, right? Because I will tell them about God, I'll educate them, and I'll be like, right, this is what some people believe. And then, regardless of what anyone feels about this is how I parent, so bollocks to you. But I will tell them about the Muslim belief. I will tell them about Buddhists. I will tell them about every religion, not just Christianity. I teach them every fucking religion that I know anything about. And then I'll tell them the truth, which is science. And I'll let them make their own decision. But they're fucking so many million questions coming from them. At the minute, I just want to strangle you so you can find out what actually happens after death, because I'm done with the questions. I'm so done with the questions. So yeah, that's what my kids are doing at the minute, just fucking terrorizing me about death.
But what if you die, Daddy?
Oh, it's so... And my son keeps going to me, oh, I don't want you to die, Dad. I'm like, well, I'm not planning on it, mate. He goes, well, yeah, I'd miss you, because you miss your dad, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, this is great. This is really helping me. Brilliant. Fucking knobhead.
Oh, mate, bless him now.
Yeah, knobheads. It's just because I talk to them about science and galaxies, and I talk to them about fact. So yeah, now I just, like, his teacher pulled me aside when I picked him up from school the other day, and they go, we've got a problem with Tom. He's too advanced. I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? I'm sorry, he's clever.
I'm sorry, he's a fucking smart boy.
He is. He's too clever. He does my nothing.
They are getting smart, the kids, though.
What was it I said to him the other day?
Guided right as well.
I said to him the other day, I go, I can't remember what it was, but I was sort of saying to him, bro, why are you doing it like that? And he goes, Dad, we're different people. And he keeps coming up with this. I think I've said this to you before. He's, Dad, we're different people. You do it that way because you find it easier. I do it my way. I'm a totally different person. Please don't try it. And I'm like, all right, mate. He's 6 years old. He's fucking
kids
6.
Are getting smarter, though.
He's a knobhead.
They are smarter, but they are getting softer. But the thing is, you got to, like, the reason why they're getting smarter is because they've got a lot more, like books, more knowledge, more like tablets, more technology behind them, and they can learn a lot quicker.
I honestly think...
I had a tablet when I was a kid and I watched videos, I'd be a lot smarter than I was right now, academically.
I honestly think my kids are going to be hard as nails, because like my daughter, she hates putting her shoes away. When she gets home, she takes her shoes off in the outhouse and she has to put them away in the shoe rack. She hates it. I'm just like, you ain't getting any dinner then. It's fucking simple. These are the rules. And my miss is like, you're really harsh. I'm like, it's simple. If you want nice things, you got to do the work for them. She needs to put her shoes away. My daughter, she's 5. It's her job to take the plates out after we've all eaten dinner. She'll clear the table. My son has his jobs. They have their charts. And if they don't do all their fucking jobs, they don't get puddings. They don't get pocket money. They don't get shit. It's that simple. Like my kids have got it hard. Like, we've got money, we've got house, we've got food, but it's hard simple to do things. It. But they need to fucking learn. I'm not bringing up pussies.
Yeah. My son fucking doesn't want to read a book. Well, you're not getting any fucking, like, he's got a little jar with like spare change in. It's like, well, you're not getting any fucking money for that then if you're not going to read a book. And he's like, I'll read the book then.
Yeah.
But there you go. You've got a reward for doing something you don't want to do.
I keep saying to him, in life you've got to do 100 things that you don't want to do to get the things you do want to do. I don't want to do that. Well, fucking tough shit. Right. You fucking read your text messages. We'll say goodbye to everyone. Dean, say goodbye to everyone.
Goodbye to everyone.
Goodbye to everyone. Fuck off.
Pussies.
Pussies. Throw some fucking bollocks. Be a man.
Yeah. Yeah.